Hi! How are you? I did skip a day yesterday. I was very busy. I reorganized my car. I went to my storage space. And I have a project that I'm working on for a friend. And so I needed to go and get supplies to work on that project. And by the time I was done doing all of these things, I was very tired. And I decided that rather than try to push through a video just for the sake of doing it, that I would wait until I was in a good state of mind and energy to be making a video. I figured that one day, here toward the end of Lent season, would not destroy the progress that I've made. So, one book that we have read a lot from at church lately is Jeremiah. And so I think that I am going to visit Jeremiah today, and that we might talk about it a little bit. We've been talking about it at church, so obviously that has inspired me here. It's not very long. Let's see, I'm trying to remember. Maybe we could just do here's the part that we did at church, and I'll start here and then maybe we can work through some of the other part of the book. So this is chapter 28 of the book of Jeremiah. And that same year, in the beginning of the reign of Zedekiah, king of Judah, in the 4th year, and in the 5th month, Hananiah, the son of Azar the prophet, which was of Gibeon, spake to me in the house of the Lord, in the presence of the priests, and of all the people, and said, Thus speaketh the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, saying, I have broken the yoke of the king of Babel. Within 2 years' space I will bring into this place all the vessels of the Lord's house, that Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babel, took away from this place and carried them into Babel. And I will bring again to this place Jeconiah, the son of Jehoiakim, king of Judah, and with all them that were carried away captive of Judah, and went into Babel, saith the Lord, for I will break the yoke of the king of Babel. Then the prophet Jeremiah said unto the prophet Hananiah, in the presence of ye priests, and in the presence of all the people that stood in the house of the Lord, even the prophet Jeremiah said, So be it. The Lord so do, the Lord confirm thy words, which thou hast prophesied, to restore the vessels of the Lord's house, and all that is carried captive from Babel into this place. But hear thou now this word that I will speak in thine ears, and in the ears of all the people. The prophets that have been before me and before thee in times past prophesied against many countries and against many great kingdoms, of war and of plagues and of pestilence, and the prophet which prophesieth of peace, when the word of the prophet shall come to pass, then shall the prophet be known that the Lord hath truly sent him. Then Hananiah the prophet took the yoke from the prophet Jeremiah's neck and brake it. So that was symbolic of breaking the yoke of the king of Babel off of Jeremiah's neck, which was a symbol that Jeremiah was submitting to the king. And Hananiah spake in the presence of all the people, saying, Thus saith the Lord, even so will I break the yoke of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babel, from the neck of all nations within the space of 2 years. And the prophet Jeremiah went his way. Then the word of the Lord came unto Jeremiah the prophet. After that Hananiah the prophet had broken the yoke from the neck of the prophet Jeremiah, saying, Go and tell Hananiah, saying, Thus saith the Lord, Thou hast broken the yokes of wood, but thou shalt make for them yokes of iron. So actually, what has ended up happening is that because Hananiah has made this false prophecy and had broken the wooden yoke, now the oppression will be redoubled. And rather than being liberated from that oppression, more is going to be heaped upon them. For thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, I have put a yoke of iron upon the neck of all these nations, that they may serve Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babel, who was actually greatly favored by the Lord. Interestingly enough, he was a foreign leader that God shone favor upon. For they shall serve him, and I have given him the beasts of the field also. Then said the prophet Jeremiah unto the prophet Hananiah, Hear now, Hananiah, the Lord hath not sent thee, but thou makest this people to trust in a lie. Therefore thus saith the Lord, Behold, I will cast thee from of the earth. This year thou shalt die, because thou hast spoken rebelliously against the Lord. So Hananiah the prophet died the same year in the 7th month. Now, these are the words of the book that Jeremiah the prophet sent from Jerusalem unto the residue of the elders which were carried away captives, and to the priests, and to the prophets, and to all the people whom Nebuchadnezzar had carried away captive from Jerusalem to Babel. After that, Jeconiah the king, and the queen, and the eunuchs, the princes of Judah, and of Jerusalem, and the workmen and cunning men were departed from Jerusalem, by the hand of Elisah, the son of Shaphan, and Gemariah, the son of Hilkiah, whom Zedekiah king of Judah sent unto Babel, to Nebuchadnezzar king of Babel, saying, Thus hath the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, spoken unto all that are carried away captives, whom I have caused to be carried away captives from Jerusalem unto Babel. Build you houses to dwell in, and plant you gardens, and eat the fruits of them. Take you wives, and beget sons and daughters, and take wives for your sons, and give your daughters to husbands, that they may bear sons and daughters, that ye may be increased there, and not diminished. And seek the prosperity of the city, whither I have caused you to be carried away captives, and pray unto the Lord for it. For in the peace thereof shall you have peace. For thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, Let not your prophets and your soothsayers that be among you deceive you, neither give ear to your dreams which you dream. For they prophesy you a lie in my name. I have not sent them, saith the Lord. But thus saith the Lord, that after 70 years be accomplished at Babel, I will visit you and perform my good promise toward you, and cause you to return to this place. For I know the thoughts that I have thought towards you, saith the Lord, even the thoughts of peace and not of trouble, to give you an end and your hope. Then shall you cry unto me, and ye shall go and pray unto me, and I will hear you. And ye shall seek me and find me, because ye shall seek me with all your heart. And I will be found of you, saith the Lord, and I will turn away your captivity, and I will gather you from all the nations and from all the places whither I have cast you, saith the Lord, and will bring you again unto the place whence I have caused you to be carried away captive. Because ye have said, The Lord hath raised up us up prophets in Babel. Therefore thus saith the Lord of the King that sitteth upon the throne of David, and of all the people that dwell in this city, your brethren that are not gone forth with you into captivity. Even thus saith the Lord of hosts, Behold, I will send upon them the sword, the famine, and the pestilence, and will make them like vile figs that cannot be eaten, they are so naughty. And I will persecute them with the sword, with the famine, and with the pestilence, and I will make them a terror to all kingdoms of the earth, and a curse, and an astonishment, and a hissing, and a reproach among all the nations, whither I have cast them. So he's saying these people are going to be so difficult to deal with, because they have not heard my words, saith the Lord, which I sent unto them by my servants the prophets, rising up early and sending them, but ye would not hear, saith the Lord. Hear ye therefore the word of the Lord, all ye of captivity, whom I have sent from Jerusalem to Babel. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, of Ahab the son of Koliah, and of Zedekiah the son of Maaseiah, which prophecy lies unto you in my name. Behold, I will deliver them into the hands of Nebuchadnezzar king of Babel, and he shall slay them before your eyes. And all they of the captivity of Judah that are in Babel shall take up this curse against them, and say, The Lord make thee like Zedekiah and like Ahab, whom the king of Babel burnt in the fire. Because they have committed villainy in Israel, and they have committed adultery with their neighbors' wives, and have spoken lying words in my name, which I have not commanded them. Even I know it, and testify it, saith the Lord. Thou shalt also speak to Shemaiah the Nehelamite, saying, Thus speaketh the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, saying, Because thou hast sent letters in thy name unto all the people that are at Jerusalem, and to Zephaniah the son of Maaseiah the priest, and to all the priests, saying, The Lord hath made thee priest for Jehoiada the priest, that ye should be officers in the house of the Lord, for every man that raveth and make himself a prophet, to put him in prison and in the stocks. Now therefore, why hast thou not reproved Jeremiah of Anathoth, which prophesieth unto you? For this case he sent us unto us in Babel, saying, This captivity is long. Build houses to dwell in, and plant gardens, and eat the fruits of them. And Zephaniah the priest read this letter in the ears of Jeremiah the prophet. Then came the word of the Lord unto Jeremiah, saying, Send to all them of the captivity, saying, Thus saith the Lord of Shemaiah the Nehelamite, because that Shemaiah hath prophesied unto you, and I sent him not, and he caused you to trust in a lie. Therefore, thus saith the Lord, Behold, I will visit Shemaiah the Nehelamite and his seed. He shall not have a man to dwell among this people, neither shall he behold the good that I will do for my people, saith the Lord, because he hath spoken rebelliously against the Lord. So then, that's 28 and 29, and maybe next time we will get to 30, and then maybe we'll double back, we'll see. But I wanted to read this part because my approach to Christianity has been, I think everybody has their own unique journey. A lot of people have grown up in the church. I did grow up a Methodist in the church, and then I began to question my faith, and I did leave the church, and I took up occult studies, and I did worship foreign gods. So all the parts in the Bible where they talk about worshiping, how you shouldn't worship foreign gods, I did do that. And that's kind of why I titled the channel Little Sister Virginia, because I'm not clergy. I'm not of the clergy, but my position has been of a very spiritual path and very spiritual nature. But it's kind of like, the outside of the church. If you join the clergy, you go through seminary, you go through pastoral meeting and things like that, you're walking through the front door of the church. Whereas in my case, I have kind of slipped in the side door, not in a sneaky way. I'm not trying to be sneaky about anything that I'm doing. I just happened to see that the door was open and I walked inside. Now, I also wanted to talk about the nature of false prophecy, because times when things are very difficult for people, times of captivity, which I would argue that the American public at large is in varying states of captivity to those who control our financial interests at this time in different ways than ever before. When we have these difficult times, you see a lot of false prophecy because people want for things to be better and they want to have hope for the future. Additionally, I do believe that demons exist, and I do believe that they put in the minds and hearts of people who have very good intentions false messages. Now, I did previously have a YouTube channel which was focused on reading tarot cards, and perhaps I have borne false witness in doing so. Normally, I would try to add a disclaimer that there's highly a possibility that these things are not true. These are things which I am seeing, but then of course, I had some mental health things happen. So perhaps some of that was also tied up in these mental health things. Which is not to say that, I don't know, I'm not saying anything against that per se. It did not work out well for me personally. And I have now altered my trajectory onto a different path. But Hananiah, we don't really know what his motivations were for breaking the wooden yoke off of Jeremiah's neck, other than it greatly displeased the Lord. However, that's not to say that prophecy does not exist, or that it's not possible to hear the voice of God over everything else that happens in your life. You have to pray, you have to trust, and you have to recognize what is the more likely scenario. If a scenario doesn't seem very likely, and this seems to be a very pie-in-the-sky prediction, what is the harm in listening to the prediction and believing it versus what is the benefit to ignoring something that seems very outlandish until better evidence is presented? Things are not always going to have evidence, but if something is going on, there will be evidence of it. So, I hope that you have enjoyed the reading today and our serenade from our beautiful four-legged friend. And I look forward to seeing you again very soon.